Hi guys, it's raining outside, so I've got a little project I can do some work on indoors, but we can't test it until we go out again. I've been and bought another Poundland Twin Pack pair of diamond kites. In fact, this particular Poundland is selling everything at 90p at the moment because they've got a Poundworld has opened up next door and they're having a bit of a price battle. So these only cost me 90p or 45p each. I've also got some Poundland bamboo sticks, 60 centimeters long, and what I was going to try and do, when I tried one of these packs the other day, I found that the bamboo canes, they'd cut them so precisely they were all a little bit loose when you'd assembled the kite. And I was wondering what would happen if we made slightly longer canes so it was a tight fit instead of a loose fit. See if that would actually stabilise it a bit in flight, because it'd hold the shape better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open one of these and replace the canes with ones cut just a tiny bit over length. In fact, I'm actually thinking about the long cane is in two pieces in the kit, and I'm thinking I might drill the centre of the plastic former out so I can push a cane all the way through. I'll think about that when I actually start working on it. I'm afraid you'll have to put up with the sound effects, the rain. Right, well the first problem is I can't do a single cane as the replacement because my canes are not quite long enough to replace the canes that are in the kit in one go. So what I will do is I'll cut each of these canes, I'll recut them using my garden canes, but I'll cut each of them just a tiny bit longer. Maybe 1/8 of an inch longer, so that it's a tight fit in here. I'll put it together and show you what I mean. Well, that's interesting. That one's a lot tighter than the ones I opened last, when was it? A couple of days ago. So that's been cut to a different length anyway. Well, as you might be able to see, that one's much too long. So this is the complete opposite to the ones that I opened the other day. So I can forget about that idea. That is a really tight fit. In fact, that angle looks a bit over the top, doesn't it? If we look from the side, that's really bowed. Well, that's amazing. I had this idea in the shop that would make it up with longer canes to make it a tight fit, and this one already is. I might measure them in a minute, see how they compare. Well, I'll have a look at the other one while we're at it. The other thing I'll check is the length of these strings, because the last pack I opened, these strings were only about between 9 and 10 meters long, which were much too short for flying a kite. Alright, so that one says fly, and this one says whoosh. Yeah, this one's much longer as well. Much longer. Yeah, you can see that's quite springy in there. If I push that right home, that'll spring the right way, and we've got the bowed shape for the kite. Although I don't like that, how bowed that is. It's a bit more than I'd have liked. But that's completely destroyed what I was going to do. Let's move the camera back a bit. Yeah, completely destroyed what I was going to do. I was going to use the bamboo canes to cut each of these a little bit longer than they were in the pack to make them tight like that. So obviously they've got several different manufacturers making the same kites. Because the ones that were short that I had the other day were, it was a Captain America type shield printed on it and skull and crossbones. And these are completely different. Exactly the same design, but they've used slightly longer bamboo canes, and it's a nice tight fit. I mean, it'll all go loose once the wind's been blowing on it and the plastic's stretched a little bit. But they look all right. I'll check the length of the strings now. Right, we're only looking at a fairly rough measurement here, but my kitchen to my conservatory door is about 8 meters. It's slightly more. I've gone up and down 3 times so far, so that's about 24 meters. And we're just coming on the last length, see how far we can go. Great. Well, that was worth testing anyway. We've got about, let's pick that up, 8 threes are 24, 25, 26, we're about 27 meters. We're slightly short of the 30 meter maximum, or nominal length. And it wasn't tied off properly, so if you'd have been flying this first time out of the bag, you'd have lost it, because that came off the handle. So We'll give them a bonus point for cutting their bamboo canes a little bit longer this time. We'll give them a negative point for the fact that the line wasn't tied off on the handle. I've actually rewound it on this handle that I had. This is from a crab line. So next thing we'll do is actually tie the bridle. This is what they've given us to tie the bridle with, which looks to me like 2 bits of cotton or line. Yeah, 2 bits of line with no guidance on how to tie it. In fact, if you look at the picture, it appears you tied this directly onto there, and that ain't right. Slight change of mind. Originally I was going to use this bridle as a single thickness, but now that I've actually looked at it and measured it up, we can use it as a double thickness bridle to give it extra strength. I've tied it off at this end. I'll push it through the hole. And I'll actually show you tying it off at this end. We need to keep these the same length, if that makes any sense. Let's zoom in a bit. Right, the knot I use, over, round, hold it so we can cross it over, go round again and bring it through the gap, so that when we pull it tight we've got that cross. And just to hold it, I'll give it an extra hitch. Just move that along so it lines up with the hole. Now we need to decide where we're going to attach the flying line to get the right angle of attack. Now there's no information, there's no instructions, but my understanding is this bit at the back needs to be longer than this bit at the front, so that we have the right angle when it's in the wind. If it's too far back, the kite tries to go up at a very steep angle, and if it's too far forwards, the kite's trying to fly towards you. So somewhere between the two is the ideal position. And one way of doing that is to put something on here, a loop or a ring, that you can then adjust. I've got some curtain rings, little brass curtain rings. Well, they're probably not real brass nowadays. But if we push that through and then back over like that, that's going to hold itself in place, but you can actually push it to release it and then adjust the tension, the position. Okay, so that's how I intend to adjust the angle of attack. Next thing is, how do we attach the line to that? And what I would suggest is just tie a loop in this, nice big loose loop, like that, and then that you've got two choices. You can push it through there, and that'll hold it in place, or can you hear that rain out there? Take that loop, loop it over itself like that, and then put the whole ring through, and it's actually pulling back there, and that's going to hold it in place too. So you've got a couple of choices there. The important thing is you should be able to push this back on itself to get it off again. And to be honest, with this soft cotton that they've given us here, instead of nice terylene or nylon or whatever it is normally, that's a bit of a problem. It's only because it's so soft it starts coming apart. But once you've got it loose, you should be able to get it off again. Still, we can't demonstrate because it's raining. I nearly forgot. We've got the tails to fit, haven't we? They've given us twin tails, and they obviously just go on the back end here. Back to the beginning, I was telling you that the previous kites I bought, these spars were too short. This is the one, or one of them. So if I actually put the spars in position, so they're in there and in there, I can put my finger in the gap. So when we put the connector in, they fall out. They were much too short. And that way they're not too bad. But they're nothing like, well, you can see it's laying flat. Whereas the latest one we bought, it's got a good bow to it automatically. So this one was rubbish. We did fly it, so I expect the plastic has stretched a little bit. But when I put it together right at the beginning, this was all too short. So that's why I had this idea of replacing it with cane. And I might do that with this one. Looks like the only one I need to replace is this top one. Just make it about ½ an inch longer and it should all be nice and tight again. Right, that's my new one. So made it a good ½ an inch longer. Looks to me like I could have made that even longer. That's only just putting some pressure on it. Now I've replaced all the spars on this one with my flower canes, each one a little bit longer than the original canes that came with the kite, and we've got a nice bow in it now, but there is a problem. You might notice I'm holding this tight because the sticky comes loose after a few seconds, because these plastic bits are just double-sided tape, sticky tape, onto the plastic kite. So that one comes off after a few seconds. There we go. So we're 1 step forwards and 2 steps back. I'm going to have to try and reinforce this somehow. I've reinforced that area with parcel tape now, but we won't know whether that's effective until we try and fly it.